Once upon a time, in a beautiful kingdom in China, there lived an emperor who, although old, was a jolly good man and was loved by his subjects. The emperor was content with his administration, but the only thing that would sink his buoyant mood was the thought of finding someone worthy for his daughter, Princess Min. Princess Min was remarkable for her beauty. Her eyes were long and slanting, and as bright as brown onyxes, and hearing her laugh was like listening to a tinkling stream. She was also as wise as she was beautiful, and chanted the verse of the great poets better than anyone in the land.
Daughter, my daughter! How do I find the perfect companion for you? Oh, my heart wails at the thought of failing to see you with a worthy man.
Father, don't strain yourself. I'm sure the universe has a plan.
Oh, I have no time for the plans of the universe. I am an old man, and not aging rearward, you know, and I want to...
Father, you're distressing yourself again.
Then what do I do, daughter? What do I do?
Okay, here is what we are going to do. And so, many suitors presented themselves at the palace as soon as it became known that the emperor desired a son-in-law. But when they reached the palace, they were met by the Lord Chamberlain.
The Emperor has decided that only the man who finds and brings back the blue rose shall marry his daughter, the Princess Min.
Blue rose? What is a blue rose?
Where on earth can we find it?
The suitors were much puzzled by this order. Many considered the condition imposed by the emperor to be absurd, and at once put away from the thought of winning the hand of the princess. The few of them that decided to entertain the condition set out at once to find the blue rose. One of the suitors, his name was T. Young. He was a merchant and immensely rich. He went to the largest shop in the town.
I want a blue rose, the best you have.
Apologies, sire, but I do not have blue roses. I have red roses in profusion, white, pink, and yellow roses, but no blue rose.
I want a blue rose, and from where you procured I do not care. I shall come back after 2 days, and if you do not have it for me, I shall have you put behind the bars.
Terrified, the shopkeeper went to his wife and announced that they were ruined. His wife, after hearing the whimpering of his husband, smiled and said, "Relax, dear. If we cannot find a blue rose, we must make one. Go to the chemist and ask him for a strong dye which will change a white rose into a blue one." So, the next day, the shopkeeper went to the chemist and asked him for a dye. And the chemist gave him a bottle of blue liquid, telling him to pick a white rose and to dip its stalk into the liquid, and the rose would turn blue. The shopkeeper did as he was told. The rose turned into a beautiful blue. On the day when T. Young came to his shop, he proudly presented to him the blue rose.
Marvelous! I shall now head to the palace and present it to the prince...
All the best!
When T. Young reached the palace, he was ushered into the courtroom where he presented the flower to the princess. This is a white rose. Its stalk has been dipped in a poisonous dye, and it has turned blue. Were a butterfly to settle upon it, it would die of the potent fume. Take it back. I have no need of a dyed rose, and no want of a truthless husband. T. Young bowed his head in shame, and left the palace despondent. The other suitors sought in various ways for the blue rose. Some of them traveled all over the world seeking it, while some of them sought the aid of wizards and astrologers. But all of them eventually failed to find the blue rose. At last, when all had abandoned the quest, the Lord Chief Justice went to the palace bearing on a silken cushion a large sapphire which was carved so as to imitate a full-blown rose with all its petals.
Your Highness, I bring to you the blue rose.
The emperor turned to his daughter.
The Lord Chief Justice has brought you what he claims to be the blue rose. Has he accomplished the quest?
Princess Min took the precious object in her hands and examined it for a moment. This is not a rose at all. It is a sapphire. I have no need for precious stones. Apologies, Lord Chief Justice, but I must return this to you. The Lord Chief Justice bowed down before leaving in discomfiture. A few months passed, and now no one in the country was venturing on the quest of the blue rose. Princess Min, who was out taking a stroll in the kingdom, disguised as a man, heard someone recite her favorite poem. She stopped to see a young man sing, playing his one-stringed instrument while singing.
I watched beside the willow trees, the river as the evening fell. The twilight came and brought no breeze, no dew, no water for the well.
Princess Min couldn't stop herself and joined him in glee. When from the tangled banks of grass a bird across the water flew, and in the river's hard gray glass I saw a flash of azure blue.
And then I turned around to see roses singing for me. Some were white and some were red and some were pink colored too. But my heart, oh silly heart, it longed for a rose that was blue. Oh my heart, my silly heart, it longed for a rose that was blue. Amazing! Not many know this old poem. I'm Lee June. Nice to meet you.
Princess Min did not utter a word, but simply walked away. That night, she tossed and turned in her bed, thinking of Li Jun. When morning came, she leapt out of her bed and, putting on the disguise, made way for the market area. When she saw Li Jun, she walked up to him and introduced herself as Zhang Yong. When the two sang and chanted their favorite poems until it was time for her to say goodbye to him. This went on for a few weeks, and Princess Min found herself drawing closer towards Li Jun. One day, as the two sat by a lake, the sun sank in a glory of dusty gold, and in the violet twilight a couple of stars twinkled like spearheads.
So, you're not from around here?
No, I come from the neighboring kingdom. Came here to ask for the hand of Princess Min. You see, I am in love with her. But after hearing her turning down the richest of the merchants and the most powerful of the warriors, I lost hope. I'm only a minstrel, you see.
Princess Min's eyes sparkled, and her heart sprang inside her chest. He loves me.
Have you seen her?
I've seen her portraits, but it is not her beauty that I've fallen in love with. It is her love for ancient poetry that draws me towards her. I've heard she sings really well, too.
Princess Min smiled, and then removed the imitation mustache and let her long hair open. Li Jun watched with his mouth open.
You are Princess Min?
He immediately stood up and bowed. Princess Min smiled and standing up took his hand. Then she explained to him about how she had fallen in love with him too. I love you, Li Jun, and I want to marry you. Please ask my father for my hand. Li Jun smiled at her, but the thought of the blue rose came to him instantly.
But I don't have the blue rose.
You do. And so, the next morning, Li Jun went to the palace empty-handed. The emperor was amused to see him empty-handed, but he chose to let her daughter speak about it.
Daughter, this minstrel who has come empty-handed claims to have the blue rose.
What do you bring to me, kind sir?
I'll watch beside the willow trees, the river as the evening fell. The twilight came and brought no breeze, no dew, no water for the well. When from the tangled banks of grass a bird across the water flew, and in the river's hard gray grass I saw a flash of azure blue. And then I turned around to see roses singing for me. Some were white and some were red and some were pink colored too. But my heart, oh silly heart, it longed for a rose that was blue. Then my heart, my silly heart, found the blue rose in you. Yes, the blue rose is you. The blue rose is you. Princess Min, you are the blue rose. You've been all along.
What? Nonsense! Daughter, what is he talking about?
Father, he is right. The blue rose is not a physical rose, but my favorite poem. Li Jun has accomplished the task and also has my heart.
What?
Princess Min narrated to her father how she met Li Jun and fell in love with him.
What?
I told you, Father, the universe has a plan. It always does. It made me meet Li Jun.
I love Princess Min, Your Highness. I'd like to ask for her hand in marriage and your blessings upon us.
The emperor was taken aback for a fleeting moment and then laughed out loud. And so, Princess Min and Li Jun were married in a grand ceremony, and the emperor was happier than ever. He had learned to not strain himself about things that weren't in his control and leave them to the plans of the universe, because the universe always has a plan.